that with us. In Alaska right now, we have people that are just coming in and out of prisons all the time. People who are addicted to drugs, people who have had, you know, everybody's got a story, everybody's got a reason. If you've ever spent time in jail, everybody tells you they didn't really do it, even if they did. I mean, it's just, an amazing cage that we put people in. And right now in Alaska, we're putting people, and I'm not talking about the long term, I'm not talking about the Joshua Wades, I'm not talking about the Michelle Linahans, I'm talking about people that are in for drugs or alcohol or domestic violence, all these sort of things. We have this theory that we're going to put all these bad apples in one basket and we're going to let it sit for a while. And then when we take the apples out, they're going to be shiny. Like, really? And people they don't want to look at the prison system. We don't want to see it. We don't want to look at it. We don't want to look at our dirty and bad and discarded. And so we put them in there. And we don't have rehabilitation the way that, you know, certainly it was cut under the last several administrations. We have people addicted to drugs. We have people trading all sorts of, unsavory favors to get the drugs while they're in there. How are we really expecting people not to come out and be even worse than they were when they went in?
Well, you know, Shannon, I've been practicing as a public defender for over 30 years. And during those 30 years, the prison population in this country has increased tenfold. We have 25% of the prison population in the world here in America. And I think we've become like Toyota. You know, we've lost our, you know, what we do things as far as rehabilitation.
All horsepower, no steering.
And
no brakes.
It's just, we've become, you know, we've gone through the tough on crime, war on drugs, and we put more and more people in prison, and we've not done anything toward rehabilitation. Even in Alaska, it's the ACLU of Alaska just released a study last week about the prison population in Alaska and the fact that we're cutting back the funds to go to rehabilitation and prevention programs, and it's not been cost effective. And so I think that we as a state and a society, we have to look at how we're handling the criminal justice system, not only to not condemn innocent people, but also to prevent crime and to give people a chance, if they are incarcerated, to make something with their life when they get out.
Well, it seems like, you know, it's a pretty big business.
It is.
You know, we've had people come into the state of Alaska and want to open up a private prison and by a certain legislator, and now he's in one. Hi, Tom. But, I mean, you look at who's lobbying against the legalization of marijuana. It's the private prison industry because they lock up a bunch of stoners. It's a giant for sale industry, and it's profitable to lock people up. And so when you have justice for profit, you don't have justice. Do you want to,
again,
Susan?
as I say, from the perspective of the entire society, in any given year, it's penny wise and pound foolish. It may take less money to lock somebody up and not treat them while they're locked up, but almost everybody's going to get out again. And when they get out, if you haven't spent any time treating them, they are very likely to commit other crimes, and there are huge costs to society for the other crimes that they commit. So if you were to back it up and say, well, let's spend a little money giving people drug rehabilitation or anger management or even just an education so that when they get out they can get a job, it might cost a little bit more money to operate our prison system to provide some education and some counseling this year, but in the long run the society is going to save a lot of money.
Well, I know there's a lot of good people that work in the industry and are trying to do a good job and treat people like they're human beings, because they are, even if they've made bad choices. And I look at this and I'm like, if you put someone in and you say, look, if you're a judge and you go, you know, you've done something horrible, you're a horrible person, these 12 people agree with me, you're gonna go to the People's Zoo, they're gonna lock you up for a while. They take away every single choice you can make. You don't get to, and I'm not saying that people haven't earned this sort of treatment, but they go in, they don't choose when they eat, when they sleep, what they eat, what toothpaste, when they go to the bathroom, who's looking at them when they are. They don't have any choices to make at all. And then they get to the end of 60 days, 90 days, 30 days, whatever, and then they go, okay, now go make some good choices. And they leave and they go to Denny's and they have a meltdown because they can't pick off the menu because they've been convinced they're incapable of making a good choice. So is there some sort of way, and Bill, you were nodding a little bit, like, is there a way to say to people that there's an option for them, that they can make better? I mean, I hate to be so touchy-feely with people that
and
screw
now I was
up.
nodding because I know that that's the way that it is, and
Let's
it's a
start
shame that it's
flogging
that
them.
way. Yeah.
So go ahead, Susan.
I mean, I agree with what you said, that there is a whole fundamentally different way you need to run a prison system if you actually expect to use your prison for any kind of rehabilitation force instead of just isolating and locking people up. The Alaska Constitution actually says that we're supposed to run our prisons with a goal toward rehabilitation. So one can make a pretty good argument that we're not doing what the people who wrote our Constitution 50 years ago said we should do.
The prison system should have those resources. The people that are running those should have those resources, that rehabilitation should be there, because there's a chance that your local lawmaker might be in there someday.
But have you seen what's happening in Juneau? They're trying to raise the bail, make it tougher to get out on bail. They're trying to make it tougher to get DNA testing. I don't think they get it yet. And I think we need to really stop and look at what we're doing, because it's not working. I think everybody can agree the system's not working very well, and it's just getting bigger. And we need to, especially our leaders, our legislators, they need to look at what's going on and come up with some different remedies rather than putting more people in jail.
Right, we have 1% of our population is in prison. Yeah. But hey, at least somebody's got health care provided by the government. That's right. If you're in prison right now watching this, well, be good, do good things, and you have health care, and I don't. Oh well, it's a trade. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with questions from our audience. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. This is one of my favorite, this has become my favorite part of the show, I think, our questions from the audience. And like I said, you're invited. You can come down here Thursday nights at 5:30 at Bernie's Bungalow upstairs. And, then you get to fill out a little white card. It'll be fun, I promise. All right, so we've got questions for our panel. And this used to be a segment where it was like, ask the girl from Homer. I needed too many lifelines. And then I already knew what I thought, so I'd rather hear what you think. Do you feel the family of an innocent person that is on death row can ever live their lives unbiased again? If an innocent person is freed, should they receive a money compensation for the years they served unjustly? Alaska Natives and African Americans are discriminated by society unfairly often. Why? Who wants to take that?
Well, I'll start with the last part of it. Just the, it's been a reality of the death penalty that minorities are way overrepresented. In the federal system, which is supposed to be a model death penalty system, every state, the biggest percentage on death row are minorities and people of color. In Alaska, the Alaska Native population in our prison system is doubly represented. I think it's about 15% of the state is Alaska Native, and I think 30-something% of our prison population is Alaska Native. I don't think it's intentional, but it's a reality of a criminal justice system that it addresses minorities more than anybody else. It's just a reality.
And to the first part of that question, do you feel the family of an innocent person that is on death row can ever live their lives unbiased again? I don't think so. How could you? How could you if you had someone in your family put to death by the government? How could you be unbiased against your government? I think that's just being human and having a human reaction to something that's not.
And then there was also the question about
They should be
compensation.
compensated. Yeah.
And only 14 states give compensation in the United States. Curtis received no compensation.
Well, I think that's criminal. I really do. If you're going to take someone's life away from them, you're going to take 22 years out of their adulthood.
It's criminal.
It's just not right. And maybe if they had to, they'd be more careful.